So we're sure you're already well aware of this by now, but on Monday, EA and Respawn, the developers behind the Titanfall franchise, launched a new free-to-play entry into the Battle Royale genre. So what is it? What makes it different? And is it any good?
Okay, well, first thing that's impressive about this release is the fact that both EA and Respawn were able to keep it completely under wraps until last Friday when details finally started to leak. Those leaks were pretty much dead on with the info except for a few minor details. This isn't really a BR version of Titanfall in what many would consider a traditional sense, but it does take place in the Titanfall extended universe. It's a free-to-play Battle Royale game that does things a bit different than the current BR slate that's already out there with games like Fortnite and Call of Duty.
Yeah, so there's obviously there was going to be some immediate backlash from fans of the Titanfall series, and there was, because this game shifted the potential development of Titanfall 3, and the devs at Respawn were not only surprisingly aware that this would happen, but they also clearly acknowledged and predicted how the game would be received if they didn't develop and release it in such a specific way. In an interview with Eurogamer, lead producer of Respawn, Drew McCoy, gave arguably the most self-aware quote from a game dev ever, especially from someone working under the umbrella of EA.
Yeah.
So here's what he said.
To try and convince a skeptical audience for months with trailers and hands-on articles, we're like, just let the game speak for itself. It's the most powerful antidote to potential problems. We're doing a free-to-play game with essentially loot boxes after we were bought by EA, and it's not Titanfall 3. It's the perfect recipe for a marketing plan to go awry. So why have that? Let's just ship the game and let players play. Yeah, so
Smart, yeah.
Basically, what he's saying is if they announce the game months in advance at like PAX or E3 or something like that, then release trailers and info as the game slowly crept towards release, people would be furious. They would hate this game on concept alone, even before playing it. And a lot of the reason is because EA, as a company, leaves a pretty bad taste in people's mouths already these days.
Yeah.
He's not wrong, and it's actually pretty damn insightful that they did everything the way that they did. So, bravo for that.
It's like when Netflix drops something like surprise. You're like, well, I wasn't even expecting this. So it's literally something I have that I wouldn't have had otherwise.
I would have never watched that Cloverfield movie if they hadn't just randomly dropped it.
Cloverfield, that's exactly what I was thinking of, because that movie was not good, but the fact that it was
Hey,
a
something to watch.
surprise, it's like, oh, that's nice.
I want to be the first to see if it's good.
Yeah. So as for the game itself, here's a brief idea of what makes it different or unique in a extremely cramped genre space.
Yeah.
You can choose between a few different legends, which are characters with their own unique perks, skills, and ultimate abilities. There's no solo or duos play. You have to play in a squad of 3. And because of the different legends, your squad could consist of players who act as tanks or healers. One can teleport using rifts. One can drop gas canisters to protect the area in case of attack. So with that alone, it sets itself apart at least a little bit from the rest. Mm-hmm. When it comes down to it, though, everyone needs to fight with guns. And the loot that all the players can find is the same.
Yeah.
Guns, ammo, attachments, power-ups. Yeah. So the
Shields.
the only advantage you have with whatever class comes down to those abilities and how you use them, when you use them.
So that's the basics. And we should say this isn't really a review because we don't do game reviews. Shibby's taking care of his child. This game, it could fizzle out in the next few weeks or months as a lot of these hot new titles do. But there are a few things to point out that Apex Legends has done with this game that are huge improvements to the Battle Royale genre as a whole, so it's definitely worth mentioning. First and foremost, the pinging system in this game is phenomenal, and it should be analyzed and used by not just other games in the BR genre, but almost any multiplayer game that could be improved by it.
Yeah.
Well, we're not sure how it works on console, what button it is or whatever, but on PC, you can ping any item, location, or enemy very easily using the mouse wheel button, and here's the big thing. The game communicates what you're pinging perfectly.
Level 3 shield over here.
Yeah, if you tag an item,
over here.
It'll say what the item is and what level it is. It says it in your teammates' ears, and it actually shows it on the minimap too. And it's the same with locations, those loot bin things, and enemies.
Yeah, the enemies one,
it's huge.
That's a big deal. I know a lot of people are really good at like call-outs.
Yeah.
I'm not, and I'm not good at giving them, and I'm not good at interpreting them, so it's nice. I think it's just automatically when you have an enemy, when you're engaging them.
If you have the enemy within the reticle, it will do it just by tapping it. You can tap that an enemy's there if you don't see them, but you know he's there by double tapping the mouse.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Because now when we get ambushed, I'm not like...
Yeah.
That's what I usually do in these games. When you jump into battle, there's a jump master who gets to control where the entire team goes so that you all stick together instead of getting some random person on your team who wants to screw everything up by going the wrong way. So, you do have the ability to break off from the team and head to another location, but you have to jump when your jump master does, and the game rewards teamwork so well that it would be pointless to break away until you're close enough to other lootable buildings within the general game area. So, I like this. I did this a couple times today. There's finishing moves, which you can do when an opposing player is downed to fully kill them. It basically does a cutscene where you end their pathetic life. You just walk up to them, and instead of you just press E.
And it goes to a cutscene.
Yeah. I was the healer, and she sticks a
drumstick.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
I was the gas man. He drops a little gas cannon.
He goes, farts in his face, dead.
No.
This is not an M-rated game, but it would be pretty cool to see some, brutal Mortal Kombat style finishers in here.
Cracking skulls, ripping hearts out.
Just a thought. The finishers, they do put you at a disadvantage if other teammates are nearby because you're completely open and you can't defend yourself till it's done. So it's a nice risk versus flashy reward. It's really taking the idea of emotes to their ultimate conclusion.
Also, if you're the one getting killed by it, you see it as well.
Yeah.
So it's nice. Yeah. They've done some nice things. Another mechanic that's very much risk versus reward is the respawn system. Yeah. Yes, you heard that correct. A respawn system in a BR game. Can you believe
Developed by Respawn Entertainment.
They had to do it to them. With games in the BR genre, you can revive teammates who are down within a certain amount of time. But once they're dead, they're dead. That's it. They just have to watch you play. Good punishment. With Apex Legends, if a teammate is fully killed, you can go to their loot drop, retrieve their banner, and then head to one of a few respawn stations scattered around the island. So, yeah, you can respawn fully dead teammates, but to do so, you have to find a station within the zone, and then everyone within viewing distance can see that a ship is flying over and dropping off a previously dead player, so it gives away your position pretty easily. Also, the person that was dead, they respawn with zero loot. You have to start from scratch. It's risky, but that's the point, and it works pretty well. Otherwise, it would be too easy, and to just constantly respawn players in a game wouldn't be that fun if it's a BR game. I don't know. Listen, this game might flop and be nowhere in months, but the things that they've included in this game that they've developed for it, I think would be great in so many other games. There's the worst case scenario.
Zip lines. There's these balloons that you can zip line up in order to basically
do a relaunch.
Yeah. So is it good? The short answer is yes. It's a good game. The longer answer is the devs at Respawn have incredible track record with making great games, and you can tell how much work went into this one. It plays extremely well. It's unique enough to set it apart from a already crowded market. It's free.
Yeah.
It runs incredibly well, and the loot is all cosmetic. They even went so far to include stats and percentages on all their purchasable loot boxes that can show you what your actual chances are of getting certain items, probably so that they don't get sued by an entire country, like a lot of these games have been sued.
Yeah, it's a system that's already been implemented in parts of the world because of that whole loot box gambling problem.
Thanks, Belgium.
Yeah.
But really, thank you. Every step of this game is very well thought out, and most of all, it's actually really fun to play.
Elliot played a new game.
I went in
because it was free.
I went in very cynical. I was like, does the world need another Battle Royale game? I thought I was done. But just when I thought I was done, they pulled me back in.
And you got 2 wins today.
Yeah, well, I was playing with some good players. That's my thing. I only have fun with these games if I'm playing with good players.
Yeah. So, I don't know, will it be able to get a foothold in the space and keep players interested enough over the coming weeks and months to maintain an active player base? We're not sure. But they definitely put something out that might just do that. Plus, they already have a full roadmap of year 1 content with separate seasons with events in each of them. So there's something to string people along. It might just work, damn it. And the biggest thing is, Fortnite's free. Sure. Blackout's not free. At this point, they might go free to play. Is the Battlefield V? It's not even out yet. Who gives a shit? The point is, there's zero barrier to entry.
Yeah.
So that might be the biggest thing that's holding a lot of games back. But the real thing is that Respawn developed this, and they did a fucking awesome job. That's all I could say.
Good job.
Yeah. Oh, is that the Pelosi clap? Making sure Donald hears it.
If you're still hung up on the fact that this is an EA game, though, don't worry. EA just got royally fucked recently, and they were taught a serious lesson by the only thing that has the ability to teach their historically stupid executives a lesson: the stock market. EA recently released their fourth quarter earnings report, and it was bad. And it resulted in the largest price drop for the company's stock in over a decade.
It's easy to laugh about this. It's hard to feel bad for them.
I mean, I think I own 1 or 2 shares, so
Sucks to be you.
oh well. But yeah, this was almost entirely because of the completely botched release and piss-poor reception of their newest entry in the once great Battlefield franchise, Battlefield 5?
V?
Which was only able to sell just over 7 million copies. Yikes. Battlefield 3 ended up selling twice that amount during its run, so not really on track here to, keep the pace with the franchise.
On their earnings call, the president of EA elaborated on all this, saying, "I think we did not do a great job of building momentum early in the project.
You confused people."
And I think about this not just in the context of development, but I think about this in the context about broader execution against the entire campaign.
Yes.
Our launch didn't resonate as strongly as we would have liked to with players, and we were never truly able to catch up to our competitors as they continued to build momentum, whether that was Fortnite, Red Dead Redemption 2, or Call of Duty. He continued, "A combination of a poor start in our marketing campaign, together with what I think was a longer development cycle that put us into a more competitive window, and the amplification that competitive window against some of those other underperformance actors." He's just confusing the stockholders here.
Yeah.
Listen, he never...
Please welcome our CEO, Porky Pig.
he never...
Dip.
He never acknowledges the real problems that EA caused for themselves, which was a confusing game in general, but also one that marketed itself as realistic to history, but then just alters it whenever it sees fit, and also one that had one of the absolute worst release schedules in gaming history, regardless of how much their marketing team dropped the ball.
Yeah. Here's an idea for next time. Just, pick a date and release the game.
Yeah. And if you move it, just move it to a different date.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? You could also move it to a date that's not in a competitive window, but you just had to get it out for Q4, and look what happened. Look what happened.
It should also come as no surprise at all that the release schedule for their newest AAA title, Anthem, is doing the same shit. It's basically being released 3 different times over the course of a week in different variations. What are you doing? This is so dumb and confusing, in fact, that the EA customer service Twitter account had to release an infographic to fans in order to clearly explain when and how they can play this game. On February 15th, PC players who have something called Origin Access Premier, which is a $15 a month service, they can play the whole game. On that same day, Xbox users who have EA Access and PC players who have Origin Access Basic, a different service that costs $5 a month, they can play only 10 hours of the full game. But then finally, on February 22nd, everyone can play the full game. PS4 users never get a chance to play early, and even people who pay $5 a month for EA and Origin Access can only play 10 hours of the game over the course of 7 days, while players who pay $15 a month can play the entire thing with no restrictions a full week before everyone else. It's confusing, and it's dumb, and everyone fucking hates it.
We just showed you. Why do we gotta keep teaching you this lesson, old man?
The only reason Apex Legends is any good is because Respawn probably had to fight EA every step of the way to not completely fuck something up. Probably a good hypothesis here.
Yeah, and I think that if this game is successful, hopefully it will just shake some sense into EA. The release schedule for Anthem is dumb, and it's only dumber compared to Battlefield V, which was even worse because it was in a crowded market. At least Anthem has some wiggle room here with no big release dates, except for their own competing game from the same publisher.
Man, this Anthem video game is almost as confusing as the Anthem health insurance company.
I played the demo. I thought it was more fun than I thought it would be, but still.
Isn't it just Ark with the new skins or something?
And that's more like Destiny with other... Let's not get into this.
Right.
Also, just to add it in here, because we both used it recently, because we did to play the game Apex Legends, the Origin launcher on PC is trash, and we both hate it. It is not user-friendly. It's confusing. It's dumb. Get rid of it. It is unequivocally the worst game launcher out of the vast number of game launchers available.
Yeah, not a fan.
Anyway, since we're talking about gaming on this episode, I guess we should mention the big event that Fortnite hosted this last weekend, which, all right, we should readily admit that neither of us are what you would consider fans of Marshmello. But the event that was hosted entirely in-game, it was pretty groundbreaking for reasons outside of listening to a mainstream kid-friendly DJ live. So let's talk about what happened, and then we'll go wild with some ideas and predictions on how this could impact the game itself and gaming in general. So this past Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific, Fortnite players could log in and witness a live concert event featuring the masked DJ Marshmello by heading to a certain location on the map. There was a full stage with lighting, visualizations, and music, obviously. Now, it only lasted around 10 minutes, but it was a completely interactive experience for the people who were in virtual attendance. And according to reports, there were 10 million concurrent viewers for the whole event experiencing this thing live, which was pretty incredible. Some of the videos, they're cool. The DJ says jump, and then everyone in the whole thing does the jumps and the emotes. Now everyone do your best emote. Yeah.
So at face value, it's a cool one-time live event in the game for fans of the game and fans of the artist. But let's venture down into the hypothetical zone for a minute to talk about what this could potentially mean in the future. Fortnite has proven that it can get millions of people together for these types of events, just like they've done in the past with their rocket launch, among others. The real question is, now that they've pulled things like this off successfully, where could they take it from here? Now, we're just spitballing ideas, but Fortnite could eventually be home to live events from almost any other entertainment medium as well. Fans could potentially gather together to watch anything. They could have had a Super Bowl watch party in Fortnite with people reacting and dancing and saying the N-word and doing weird shit around during the whole game.
Yeah.
Could this be something that they experiment with in the future? Maybe a Fortnite movie night based on a marketing campaign for something like the next Avengers movie or Captain Marvel. They were advertising some movie.
They had Thanos in the
Ralph
game.
2 had billboards in it.
Yeah. They had Thanos in the game.
Yeah.
So maybe you know, when say Captain Marvel comes out on VOD, like, hey, we bought the rights for a one-time screening event, just like HBO or any of the other things do. And hey, we're gonna screen Captain Marvel in Fortnite for movie night, and everyone's gonna sit there and make a bunch of noise so you can't even hear it.
It's, I mean, they could very easily just turn this into like Second Life.
Yeah, that's what.
Like
so
VR chat.
the possibilities they seem endless right now because we're not sure where they could take this or what they could do with it or what plans they have. But in some weird out there vision, we could definitely see a completely separate mode within Fortnite Battle Royale where there's no actual competition, no fighting, no battles, just a gigantic social hub where players could hang out with their friends on a server that fits 100 people and do whatever the hell they want.
I mean, creative mode already has.
It's pretty expansive already.
People, they added these musical blocks, and now people are making these areas where you run and you run past these music blocks, and it plays a song. Like, as it's crazy.
It's Minecraft 2.0.
Yeah, and I love this because like fucking 2 years ago when this game came out, I was like, this is just Minecraft with guns, and everyone's like, no, it's different.
No. He was right.
I'll accept my apologies now.
So, but anyways, if they did do a social space type thing, you could watch movies or YouTube videos with your friends over in the theater area or whatever. You could play a mini soccer game over here, build a motocross course and ride your ATVs all over it. Or you could just hang out in an area with a bunch of other people like an MMO, but with the point being simply to socialize in a virtual world. This is nothing new for gaming in general. Second Life, World of Warcraft, Alt Space VR, VR chat. All those things existed and found some sort of success in bringing human interaction to the gaming world, but Fortnite still has the world by the balls, and they could eventually make a shift into being a place where you don't battle and you just kind of hang out with your friends and shoot the shit. It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, they already had a pretty elaborate building mode where,
yeah, like you just said, like
you can create pretty much whatever you want using the equipment they give you. So if you think about it, much like Minecraft, people could create entire maps and servers that appeal to certain people. It'd be like a giant virtual chat room with huge amounts of interaction and customization. Again, just floating ideas.
These are
here.
free. You can have
Just
them. Epic.
spitballing.
Yeah.
Based on growing up during the old AOL and IRC chat room days. We have no idea what Fortnite's next big move for social events will be, but it has infinite possibilities, and whether you like the game or not, the platform is doing a lot to push the boundaries of what these virtual worlds could evolve into simply based on how many goddamn people are still playing it.
It's
It's crazy.
Anyways, that's it for gaming news today. Go try Apex Legends. We're not being paid to say that. It's just decent.
Yeah. If Radical Heights taught us anything, it could just go poof in
Could
like
be
3 weeks. So
Cliffy B has he's calling EA right now. You gotta get rid of this.
get rid of it.
It's a bad idea, I guarantee.
Leave them wanting more.
You should have released this over the course of 4 months. Anyways, by the way, the Division 2 beta starts tomorrow, so I'll be playing that instead. But I'm still excited to see where Apex Legends goes. And now I'm also excited to watch Netflix and Fortnite with my friends one day. That just gave me a good idea. Bethesda should port Skyrim into Fortnite so you can play Skyrim in Fortnite.
I wouldn't put it past them.
You go up to a big TV, you get your virtual controller.
Don't give Todd any ideas.
Wait, hold on. That's a wonderful idea. What better way to get back the applause and the praise of the gaming community than to embrace the Fortnite phenomenon for Bethesda?
Ugh.
Outer Worlds is going to destroy Fallout.
Can't wait. Anyways, watch yesterday's episode of Tech News Day, and be sure to check out our most recent episode of News Dump.
Yep.
And hey, feeling generous, hit that Patreon or click the join button below to become a member. And we'll see you all real soon.
Bye-bye.